Are the fighting superstars of today made the same way that they used to be made?
They don't make them like they used to.
Now, while I do have a list of early fighters versus current fighters, it is important to point out that I'm a newer fan. I missed the glory days of Conor and Khabib going at it head to head. And when UFC 1 happened, I wasn't even born yet. So my perspective is a little different. Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Anderson Silva, GSP. Now compare that caliber of fighter, that caliber of superstar to an Ilya, to a Paddy, Pereira, O'Malley. And when you think of those fighters, you probably think of clips. You think of social media, you think of a bunch of people who knew how to leverage different platforms to get views, to get clicks. That's how you get these younger crowds chanting your name in arenas. That's how you get Paddy, you know, people are wearing his wigs kind of a thing. Or at least that's the way that they chose to do it. I started watching when Israel Adesanya came on the scene, and he did the same thing. He knew how to leverage Instagram in particular. So when you tie his ability to leverage Instagram and become viral with his ability to also be viral for his amazing knockouts, well, you get a superstar. I started watching around that time, but the thing that got me into the sport wasn't him. I didn't see a clip. I saw a YouTube video of what became my favorite fighter even to this day. I still remember how impressed I was from this interview of Stephen Thompson on YouTube. I have nowhere to sit, but the important part is how professional and suave this fighter was. Normally I would have just, should I sit? Should I stand? I don't know. Normally I would have just clicked away, like unrolled my eyes. I don't care about these stupid, you know, in my mind, the UFC and the WWE, it's all like this garbage. I don't know. Just how I thought, like really grody and grotesque and nasty and fake. I didn't really, like I may have known that the UFC was real, but I just didn't particularly care for whatever reason. I loved karate, but at any rate, for whatever reason, I clicked this video and here was this professional, articulate fighter. The way he carried himself, I'm like, surely this is a world champion of some kind. And he was in not in the UFC, but in other sports. He was just so professional and it made me, wow, this guy isn't just some weirdo who's acting. You know, this is a real fighter. This guy kicks butt for a living. He was breaking down, I don't know, movie scenes with his like opinion on the martial arts that was used in the movie scenes, whether it was realistic or not. But you see this fighter in a different context, you know, not on TV, just on your social media. For me, it was YouTube. I love YouTube. And you're like, oh, okay, this is different than I thought it was. I start researching here or finding more clips of him and come to find out this guy's got incredible knockouts prior to his UFC career. Then he goes into the UFC and he's just, I mean, the knockouts are incredible. He had a tough time towards the end of his career because of course you have to deal with the wrestlers and he wasn't able to find a way to adapt to that. But I was just taken aback by the professionalism. At least that's my perspective of it. So you have these stars that are on social media and it's like, okay, so what does the UFC do if they want to push a champion or if they want to push a fighter? Instead of letting it organically grow in whatever way, what happens when they try and do it? Well, we saw that with Bo Nickel. And I just saw this upcoming fighter. Okay, he's a wrestler. Seems like a pretty level-headed dude. I'll tune in. I'm interested. But you started to see some promo, and man, the pushback from the UFC community, the MMA community, for whatever reason, they did not like him. They did not like the promos that the UFC did. They felt like they were being spoon-fed this stuff about a guy that they didn't like or he was arrogant or whatever, which is ironic because a lot of cocky fighters get a lot of attention. At any rate, this is kind of what happens when the UFC pushes the wrong guy at the wrong time. Different result completely. So what do you do if you're the UFC? Do you push fighters even though they could be sort of a liability? I mean, you've got Conor throwing chairs through buses. You've got Sean Strickland saying crazy crap. What do you do now that they're focusing more on the shareholders than making the greatest fights? Honestly, I don't care about the celebrities. Go Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Guys, go outside, touch some grass, train hard so you can kick some butt. Subscribe here, subscribe elsewhere. I'd love to get some cameras and maybe even a camera guy or two and go and interview fighters and go and really tell their amazing stories. They have a lot of incredible stories. I've actually told some of their stories on my other documentary channel, but the more people we get here, the more people we get there, I'll be able to spend more money on actually meeting these guys, go to their hometown, see what their life was like. I'd love to do that for you guys. I love telling stories. I love stories and I love pursuing these guys, particularly because it's the truth. It's not like a Marvel movie where it's just all fake. These guys live incredible lives. I've dug into some of them and it's just like, man, they pull themselves up, you know, from nothing most of the time. So if you're able to subscribe or support the channel in any way, I'd appreciate it. That's what the future holds. Subscribe.